Hi, Kitty Pies. It is Lanickia, and I am coming to you with Friday's episode. That is 3/4/2022 of The Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful, and what was I about to say? Is The World Turns and General Hospital. Okay, so I'm sorry I'm coming to you late with this one. I only had 1 hour break yesterday. I didn't get off until 9 o'clock that night, and I was tired. Not that I got much sleep, but I'm more refreshed today. So I decided, oh, let me do this video so I can try to stay consistent with these videos. Okay, y'all. So Young and the Restless, child. Ashlyn is in. Ashlyn runs into Nate. He's on the phone again, trying to get the people to take care of the doctors in Peru, right? Because y'all know he trying not to be in trouble because he don't want to give up his rights to the company. And so he runs into Nate, and Nate is telling him, like, I believe it's not finalized. I haven't made my complete decision, but I'm leaning towards yes. Well, Ashton don't have time for Nate. So he's kind of blowing him off. And Nate was like, is everything okay? And so he just tells Nate, I'm sorry, I'm just late for a meeting. And so Nate keeps asking him and everything until Ashlyn just stops and he's like, oh, I just don't feel well. And he was telling Nate everything that was going on with him. And Nate was like, you got to be really careful. You should make an appointment with the doctor. And he said, oh, I'm actually on my way to see the doctor now, Ashlyn. And Nate was like, that's the meeting I have to go to. Like, if he really had a meeting that he had to go to, he would have told you, I'm going to see the doctors, or say something like, you're sitting there having a conversation already talking about you're late and you're going to make yourself more late. Okay, Nate, don't be like that. So Victoria confronts Nikki, Victor, and Nick about what is it that they're keeping from her. I mean, Victor doesn't want to tell her, even though this is a mistake not telling this girl. But he doesn't want to tell her, so there's nothing they can do if he's asking them not to tell, and he says he has it under control. Victor really thinks that Ashlyn is going to go away with his tail tucked between his legs. We all know that's not about to happen. I read the comments on Instagram. I know y'all don't want this to happen because y'all like, wrap this up. I feel the exact same way. Like, oh, sorry, y'all. My girl is watching her Christian music and stuff in the background. So hopefully that's not distracting. But anyways, I don't want to go into this either. I don't want him signing the papers and them dragging this on. Like, I don't know. I'm over it, honestly. I'm just over it. I don't know. Okay, so then we see Phyllis and Jack, right? So they've made it to California to go and look at everything with chemo. Now, the house is open, but nobody's there. And Phyllis is like, let's go on in. And he's like, no, I feel like I'm trespassing. She said, this is your son. From what we know, he had no any other living relatives or anything. This is your son. You have to take care of this stuff. We can't help it that the door was unlocked. Like, we got to go in or whatever. And at least find out who's sending those mysterious texts. And so he was like, you know what? You're right. So they go ahead and go in and they find, I'm just going to wrap them up, y'all, because it's over. So they go ahead and go in and they find letters that chemo has written in the last year. Now they're for Jack, but they're not for Jack. He was just working through his emotions. And so over the course of a year, he went from really resenting Jack to being more understanding until he got to the point where it was at forgiveness. So they still didn't show from what we're hearing that the granddaughter, Jack's granddaughter, they still haven't showed her yet because he had a child. So which we're assuming that's who's sending the letters. They still have not showed her yet, but that's what was going on with Jack Nim. And so they're even more determined now to find out who was sending these text messages and everything. Oh, so Nikki and Victoria and Nick are all going in, and Victoria's just like, Dad's been spied on me, and he told her, I don't need a spy. My name is on the building. And I'm just like, okay, if y'all don't trust her and don't want her running this company because of what Ashley has found out, like, that's her husband, she's with him, then just take it from her. Just take it from her and let her work out whatever it is she has to work out with Ashlyn or whatever. But I don't know. They make simple solutions just by, like, if he would tell her the truth and tell her information she has, when they find out the three doctors, who Ashlyn wants to put, has pretty much put a hit on, when they find out that they're dead, then she would understand it more. Just like she would understand more if Victor and them had told her, hey, Ashlyn's not really sick, and watch, I'm going to confront him, I'm going to talk to him, and watch, he's going to pretend he has a heart attack or something. But see, Victor and them won't tell the truth about everything. They're trying to keep, oh, we want to spare her feelings. I'm sorry, I don't really care for Victoria, so her feelings don't matter to me. I mean, I'm like, just tell her. um So Ashlyn gets a text from Victoria. She said, and where are you? And she also called him because she left Victor and them, and she was like, just stay out of my life or whatever, and stay out of my business. So she done left them, y'all. So she's looking for Ashlyn because he was supposed to be going home. He got told me so many lies going on. He was going home. He was going to the doctor. He went to the cafe. Like, he had so much going on that if they would just go follow that, they would know something is weird is up. She would know. So Victoria ends up going to Sharon's place, and she's there for a cup of coffee. And while she's there, Nick shows up. And again, Nick is just like, she confronts Nick. No, he asks could he talk to her, speak to her, and she's like, I want you to have my back. And he's like, I'm trying to tell you, I have your back and everything like that. But she's like, but you're not telling me the whole truth. And he says, no matter what happens, if you need me, or I will be there for you. And she was like, I want you to be like that for me and Ashlyn or whatever, because I know you don't like him. And of course Ashlyn comes up, and he comes up and he's talking to Nick about how they want his support and all that. And Nick can barely keep it, like, he's trying to hold it together because Ashlyn knows the man doesn't like him, and he knows Ashlyn's secret. So Nick can barely contain himself. So Sharon comes over. Well, he's containing himself, but he's on edge. So Sharon comes over and says, hey, I need to tell you some stuff about Mariah's wedding. Can I borrow this guy? And they're like, okay. And so she brings Nick away. And she was like, I know you were on the verge of losing it. I've known you forever. And so she does tell him, the update on Mariah's wedding. But then she also tells him that, and he says, yeah, it is hard to sit there and be around. He says it is hard to sit there and be around Ashlyn, knowing, because you remember Nick told Sharon what's going on, knowing what's really going on and everything. And she was just like, if you need anything, I'm here for you and all that. So then we see Victor and Nikki are now at the coffee house, and they're drinking, they're just having some tea, coffee, whatever. And like, everybody's trying to tell Victor, like, he needs to tell Victoria the truth, or at least tell them what's going on or whatever. And they're trying to tell him, we don't think Ashlyn's going to be as easy to get rid of as you thinking. And he said, if he's not, if he doesn't go away, he will be dealt with or whatever. Okay, Victor, you say you got it, then you better handle it. So then we see Nate come up, and they ask Nate, because he said he saw Ashlyn, and they asked him, how was he? Because he had a little spell at the office. And Nate said, he didn't want to say anything at first. And they were like, we're not asking you to divulge his medical thing. We're just asking, how did he look? As friend to friend or what? And he was like, he wasn't 100%. And Nikki's like, because they tried to tell Victoria, like, what if his, it's really been the same storyline all week. Them telling Victoria about his health, her saying, we energize each other, we're a happy couple, and whatever. So that's in of Nikki now, where they looking at each other like, we know Nate is he's going to go out of town. So they think that Victor think his plan is working. Nate gets a text message while he's talking to Victoria, and he said the three doctors are taken care of, which means, because he said by any means necessary, which means they're probably dead. So now that information that Michael Baldwin they need to be sure that he's safe, is completely gone. They're witness testimony is gone because he's taking care of those doctors. So now he's telling Victoria, I need to tell you about your dad. Um, Tell you something about your father. And I'm like, see, Victor, see, you should have just told the girl the truth in the first place, and none of this would be happening. So now we're going to, and that's how it went off. Just, it was, we all know that she gonna sign those papers. You might as well let her go ahead and sign it because she's gonna sign those papers. And I don't know how y'all gonna get rid of him. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, I don't want a storyline that goes on for months. I do not want that. I know, like, move this along. So okay, so then we see, okay, on the Bold and the Beautiful. Y'all. So Thomas is talking to Sheila, right? Actually, I'm not gonna wrap them up. I'm gonna go to Bill, Liam, and Wyatt. They're all talking, and Bill is going in on Ridge and how Brooke deserves better. Ridge couldn't wait to get back over to Taylor. He's always leaving her. He's just never sticking it out with Brooke. Any chance he gets, he's gonna run back to Taylor. He's using all of this as an excuse. He doesn't excuse anything that Brooke did, but she deserves someone who's going to be loyal and ride it out with her, instead of someone who's been waiting on an excuse just to run back to Taylor and Thomas and Steffi and all that, so they can have their happy family or whatever. And Liam and Wyatt are like, nah, wait a minute. I mean, I know how you feel or whatever, but he's just like, Brooke deserves better, and it is what it is. That's what he was saying. But he is not a fan of Ridge at all. So then we see Hope and Brooke talk, and she just says that maybe he deserves to be with Taylor. Even though I love him, I've betrayed his trust so much, and I've hurt him, that he deserves happiness. And if that happiness is with Taylor, then I love him enough to be with Taylor then, And her daughter is like, Mom, you don't mean that. And she's like, no, I love him enough I actually mean that or whatever. So we're going to see. And she just can't. She was like, I just don't understand how I got on this path of drinking like this again. I just don't understand it. And so, but we know. So then we see, who else are we going to talk about? So then we see, okay, Taylor and Ridge are talking. And so Max comes in to check on Ridge. Max comes in and he says, Ridge, I heard about you and Brooke. Everything okay? And so when he leaves or whatever, Ridge is just like, I didn't want this out because I don't want people, like, he doesn't know what he's gonna do, is what I get. But he doesn't want this out. He doesn't want people talking about it, gossiping about it, and everything. And Taylor says, the kids are just like, y'all are talking like these are 8 or 12-year-olds. These are full grown children that have their own lives and children. Like, I don't understand this. But anyways, Reg really doesn't want this getting out because he is confused. He don't know if he want to be with Taylor or Brooke. He's in love with Brooke. If Brooke hadn't, he had already forgiven Brooke for the kiss, and if she hadn't ran to Deacon, with the fight, if supported Deacon in that fight and everything, he would be with Brooke right now. So him going to Taylor is a rebound, and he shouldn't have done it because that was not the right move to make, and he shouldn't have done that. God bless you, Mama. But he did, and so it is what it is now. But he hugged Taylor, and you could tell, like, he's conflicted. He's like, don't give Taylor false hope, and those adult little kids false hope either. So then we get to Thomas and Sheila, y'all. Sheila she cannot contain it. She has to let somebody know what she's done. So she's telling Thomas, you should be thanking me. Y'all should be telling me how wonderful I am. Because all these years, Brooke has had Ridge. Taylor has not had a chance with Ridge. It's because of me that she even got close to a slight chance of getting with Ridge. So instead of being upset at me, you should be thanking me because I got your whole little family together. It wasn't nothing y'all did because he's been gone for years and didn't try to come back for you all. But so Thomas is like, "What you mean?" And she said, Brooke ordered this, and he's like, "What you mean she ordered it?" She ordered non-alcoholic champagne or whatever, and she was like, she can't keep the smugness out. And so he's like, "What you do, Sheila?" And she's like, I didn't do. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I got Taylor and Ridge together. This is what you wanted or whatever. Just let it go, Thomas. And he's like, So his Ridge calls him in the middle of this, or right while he's going at it with Sheila, and he's told him, "Come with me and your hot mom." And I'm like, see, that's the confusion. That's that confusion you got going on where you're talking about Taylor like y'all are together, but then you still got feelings over here for Brooke. If you're confused, leave them both alone. But anyways, Tommy said, "I can't come because I got a meeting, something that's come up, and I got to take care of this." So Ridge is like, "Oh God!" Well, anytime he tells Taylor he can't make it, but it sounds like he had something come up, and anytime something comes up like that with Thomas, it's never good. It's not. And so he keeps on with Sheila, and he's like, "She ordered non-alcoholic champagne. What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Did you spike her drink?" And so then we get the flashback of, what Sheila did to get, mix up the champagnes and everything. And it's like, finally, Sheila, he guesses that you gave her like alcohol, because remember Sheila said, "I've had this before and it tastes just like champagne." So because I was like, "Girl, how you didn't know?" But she was like, "It tastes just like champagne," when they did the flashback, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's why." Because it tastes like champagne. She thought she was drinking non-alcoholic, because I was like, "Well, I thought she was drinking vodka," and that's what got her like that. So her inhibition was let down. So she was like, "Yeah, let's have some vodka. Okay, Deacon, let's kiss. Let's lay on the bed and all that." This is Brooke, not Sheila. Brooke was doing all this. So Sheila knows she did it because you gave her alcoholic beverages to do it. And so Thomas has figured it out, and she's just like, "You got your family back. What are you going to do?" So now it's on Thomas to decide if he's going to tell the truth about what Sheila has done, or if he's going to keep it quiet because he wants his family. And I'm like, "Sir, you're a grown man. You're not a teenager. You are not a tween, and you are not a child. Tell the truth." So then we're going to move on to General Hospital, which, truth be told, was not much. So we see on General Hospital. Okay, I'm just gonna wrap these up. Sasha and Brando, they went on this retreat, and they're enjoying being together. They're enjoying their alone time and everything, and just getting back to each other. And they really want to. And that's pretty much what they're talking about. Just getting back to each other, loving each other, moving forward in happiness and peace. But they can't do this because Sasha is on pills. Because when Brando leaves the room for a minute, she takes a pill. Now, Sasha is feeling good at this point because the pill is starting to kick in. And so Brando is talking, and he's like, he says something about getting married. And she's like, "Yes, let's do it. Let's get married." I said, "Okay, girl." Sasha is high. So she's good. She's like, "Yeah, let's do this," because Sasha is high as a kite right now. So she wants to go ahead and get married. Lord, okay. Trina, okay. So Esme went to see Spencer. So as Esme goes and she sees Spencer, I'm sorry, I'm not going to even do her right now. Sonny is at Courtney's grave because they're making a big deal on this episode about Courtney's passing, and the day is the day that she died and everything. So Sonny is at her grave, and he's just, talking to Courtney, reminiscing, telling her everything that's going on with him. And Nicholas shows up. And Sonny pretty much tells Nicholas, "Yeah, you could have done better with Spencer. You could have been better, and don't if you make a mistake, own up to it and just keep, living life and telling people how you feel about them. And I'm like, Sonny, you're one to give advice. And that's what kills me about this. So, because y'all like people, you let them get away with this kind of stuff. And I like Sonny, but like, you can't give anybody advice. Like, you certainly can't judge Nicholas, all the mistakes that you've made. But anyways, so they leave flowers at Courtney's grave and then they go on about their business. And we see that Carly talks to Sam, and she's talking to Sam about Courtney as well. And Sam was like, okay, I look, Elizabeth and I are now friends, and I feel like Courtney and I would have, at this point, would have buried the hatchet, and we would have been friends as well. And so Cardi, just tells her how much she misses Courtney and everything, and it's hard on everyone. And Jason's gone, and Courtney's gone and everything. And so at the end of the episode, we see Sonny show up at Metro Court, and Carly is there, and so I don't know what's gonna happen right there, but she did talk to Nicholas. Nicholas did stop by Metro Court, and because he had a dinner with Ava, and he told her, I know I haven't told you this, but I'm sure Courtney would have loved what you done with the place and everything. So then we see, you all right, Mama? So then okay, Cece, where's your CP? Here. Okay. So then we see who's out? Okay, so Sonny and Carly, yeah, and that's how it went off. They didn't say anything, they just showed them seeing each other. So then we see with Nicholas. So Laura, I'm trying to wrap up these people's storyline. Like, and this is the thing about General Hospital. There's just so many people moving around and everything. So then we see with Nicholas, he actually ends up at Metro Court after, he leaves Courtney's grave, and he meets up with Ava. Now, Ava had met up with Laura earlier, and she was talking to Victor. And Laura came over, and she was like, we want to figure out who was helping Peter. And Victor was like, I know you're not accusing me. Yeah, she accusing you, Victor. But he was like, I had nothing to do with it. But so when he leaves, Ava was like, excuse me, y'all, my sinus. I've been outside today, and it's Texas, and pollen is already starting to fall. So excuse me, I'm sorry about that. So Ava is just like, she doesn't trust Victor either. And she said, and Laura says that I see Spencer, he already in Victor's corner, but I see Nicholas starting to trust him too. And she said, I'm afraid you're right. Now, Ava still don't trust him. So she's like, I'll help you, Anna. I'll get close to Victor, and any information that I get, I'll pass it along to you. So Laura was like, did I say Anna? No, I meant Laura. She was like, I'll help you, Laura. Any information that I'll pass it along to you. So Laura was like, thank you so much. And so Nicholas goes and he speaks to Ava because they're about to have dinner and everything. And she just tells him, I'm trying with Victor, trying to get closer. And Ava just wants to, me to just make sure I'm taking care of you, and everything's going on with Spencer and all that. So she played it off. So Nicholas doesn't know, and that's the end of Nicholas, Ava, and their whole storyline on this episode. So then we go to who else did they show on here? Drew and Anna. So Drew and Anna are talking, and they're outside, and they're just talking about how they think that Victor had something to do with Peter, and that she thinks it's because he wants something to do with Drew. So then Sam and Laura come up, and I'm like, oh my God, why y'all talking open so much? Like, anybody can hear these conversations. So they come up and they're like, okay, well, yeah, we can have these open conversations. So when they come up and everything, they just openly say, oh, we think he's trying to figure out a way to control Drew, because he thinks that Drew can still be controlled. So Sam is like, well, why don't we set him up and make him think that there is a way and we know how, so that Victor can be out in the open or whatever. And that was it with y'all. But they have to go to Australia because they feel, oh, yes. So they're going to go to Australia because they feel like where they feel like you all right, mama? Up. Sorry, guys. They feel like where Luke was killed, that they could find loose ends with Johan and all of them. So they're wanting to go to Australia and take care of that as well. But they're saying we have to be really careful with that. So then we see Esme has went to visit Spencer, right? So she's over there trying to visit Spencer, and he's depressed because of Courtney's death and everything. So she's trying to encourage him because Esme really does love Spencer. Now she's not my favorite, no, she's not, but she really does love Spencer, and she's trying. And he says, Trina, she was like, so Trina would understand, and he was like, yeah, or whatever, because she didn't lose her dad, but she understands what I'm going through. And Esme was hurt because she was like, well, god dang, and you're already sending her a gift on Valentine's Day and all that kind of stuff. So, and he was getting all loud and emotional with Esme, and she was like, whoa, I'm just trying to help you, like, I'm just trying to support you and be there for you or whatever. And then he apologizes and everything to her and tells her he's sorry. But yeah, Esme was like, yeah, don't give me that energy, because she was pretty much like, I'm about to go. And he was like, I'm sorry, because he started off with her just giving him a hug from the back, and he was like, I told you we're in prison, you can't just come up, I could get in trouble with the guards. I'm like, you, what kind of prison is this? Like, I know that but this boy has visitors, and he's always in the room, the visiting area and everything. Like, what y'all be doing up in here? But anyways, so he asks her to forgive him, and she's like, cool, because Victor comes, and Victor was like, I need to speak to my grandson or whatever, because they were getting heated, and she's like, all right, cool, you can talk to him. And so if Esme wasn't going to do anything to Trina, seeing Spencer's reaction to it, yes, she's definitely going to do it now. So then we see that Victor talks to Spencer, and he says it's his mother's, the day she passed and everything. And even though he didn't know her, he still feels a connection to her, and he always sends flowers. Now, Esme told him she would do that, or he could have somebody else do it. And that's when he was like, no, it's not the same thing. And he went to going off, I'm in Port Charles, I was in boarding school before. And she was like, okay. And he was like, I know it's decisions I made or whatever that landed me here. But he asked Victor, can you get me out to go see my mom or whatever? Because family is everything. And you know how Victor loves family. So Victor lets him go. And so he goes to the gravesite, and he sees Courtney, and he sees that other people have already been there. And he was glad that she wasn't alone. And he leaves flowers on the gravesite. Now, while he's doing that, Victor is on the phone like, we need to tie up all loose ends that had to do with Peter or whatever before it's too late. It's already too late, Victor. They're already on your trail. It's already too late. So then we see, so Trina is talking to her professor, and her professor is just like, you need to participate more in class. Like, you're one of my best students or whatever, but you have to, we need class participation as well. And she's like, okay, cool. I'll start participating more. So when Trina walks out, Josh and Cam are there. And before she had came out, Josh was just trying to explain to Cam how, she felt Trina is upset with her and ignoring her and everything. And Cam was like, just give her time. And she was like, she should be mad at Esme, not me. I'm not the one using her. I'm trying to be a friend or whatever. So then Trina comes out, and she asked, Josh, how was class? And, Trina gave her a short answer, just class participation. And she was about to walk off. And Josh is just like, can you please talk to me or whatever? And Trina is just like, about what, Joss? And I'm still upset with you. I'm not mad at you, but I'm upset with you because you used me and everything to get back at Esme, and I have to suffer the consequences for that. And Josh is like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have told what you had, about the gifts. I shouldn't have rubbed it in Esme's face. And they started going at each other, and Cam, all he was trying to do, he was like, "Hey guys, Trina was like, you should stay out of it." He was like, "Oh, you know what? I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm out." Okay, that's cool. And so he stayed. He's like, "Okay, it's cool, it's cool." And so while they're going at it, because Joss is just going off about Esme, because she apologized to Trina, but then she starts talking about Esme and everything, and Trina was like, "You just don't get it. You just don't get it." I don't like neither one of these two young ladies, to be honest. I know everybody's like, I love Portia and Trina, my favorite mother and daughter do. I don't like them really. I like, not for me. Oh, girl. So, anyways, Esme comes up and she's like, problems or something. Now, Trina rolls her eyes. Okay, if you know Esme is the problem, then why can't you forgive your friend? And okay, just tell your friend, don't do that again. She's told you, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Like, what else do you want from her? How much more groveling do you want? Now, am I saying Joss was right? No, she acts just like Carly, and I don't really care for Carly because she acts that way. They do stuff and then think about it afterwards. But Joss is wrong the way she went about it, but she's absolutely right about Esme. So anyway, Trina walks off or whatever because she's like, I'm done with this. And she walks off, and Josh is just like, ugh, Esme, let's go to class, Cam. So they go to class. Now, as they go to class, Josh is like, I'll need to talk to Trina about everything going on. I'm gonna go and try to find her or whatever. And Cam was like, "You right now? Like, we're in class or whatever." But she was like, "Yeah, I need to go and find her." So she stands up. Now, when she stands up, Esme over here with the phone 2.0 of Trina, like, her exact phone like Trina's. She unleaked the dang video of Cam and Esme to get Cam and Josh together. She's leaked it to the class, and they put it up on the big screen because they're doing a project in class where they had to have the projector. They put it up on the projector, and so now everybody sees that Joss and Kim were together or whatever. And I guess she's gonna blame it on Trina because they're already not getting. I don't know. This is stupid. It's stupid. And I'm like, what state are they in? Are they considered to be in New York? Is it New York? But I don't know the law. I'm like, this seems like this would be a crime. But anyways, that was General Hospital, Young and the Restless, and the Bold and the Beautiful. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you Monday with a new episode. Bye.